In this example, we're going to look at a basic dictionary. So here we have an empty dictionary, right? Just 2 braces. Could be an empty set. We should keep that in mind. But we can figure out how large it is, or if that would cause an error. If something's empty and we ask how big is it, what's going to happen. So we'll take a look at that. And then we have a little dictionary here with our key value pair. Just got to keep reminding ourselves that the key is on the left side of the colon and the value that it's tracking is on the right side of the colon. And is this 3 things or 6 things? We'll find out when we print the length. And we can get the keys back, we'll get the values back, we'll get the items back, and we'll see what all that means. Best to step through this with the debugger. So I'm going to start with debugging current Python file. Looks like we're good to go. So we have an empty dictionary. Will this blow up? Well, we're still running. That's good. So I have a variable over here called empty dictionary, and it's showing me the braces. I'm going to step over. Now, if I ask something that's empty how big it is, what's going to happen? I get 0. That's good. That makes sense. Right? There's nothing in it yet. I can add stuff to it, clear it out. So there are these cases where, on purpose I'll make a dictionary or a list empty by clearing it. So I'm about to make a new dictionary by number dictionary. Here it is, and I can kind of see almost exactly what I typed in code in the locals window. That's good, right? And if we expand this, we can see that before, when we're dealing with lists, we'd have like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, the index number that would tell us what it is. Now we have the key with the value across from it. And so what we'll do here is we'll check the size of the dictionary. So is it going to be 0? Is it going to be 3? Is it going to be 6? Is it going to be 7? Let's find out. Why would it be one or the other? It's 3. So because it's a key value pair, those are grouped together. Those pairs are grouped together. And we get a value of 3. We have 3 keys in there. We can see what all the keys are by retrieving the keys. So the keys are 1, 2, 3. Notice that it sends a list back to us, right? So we get a list of the keys, and then we can get a list of just the values, right? And we can see that I just got a list of all the values that are in that particular dictionary. You can also call something called items. Let's find out what that's going to return. Right? So we get a list of tuples where the first element of the tuple is the key and the second element is the value. So it's just a way of reorganizing that key value pair. I'm going to get a by name dictionary. So let's take a look at what that means. So here's by name up here. Now the key, the way you get a value, you have to use a name like apple, banana, pear, and there's a numeric value on the right side. So we can use int floats, whatever we want for the keys. We can use strings, int floats for the values. We just have to know what we did or remember what we did so that we do things that make sense. So if I ask for the keys on this one, I should get apple, banana, pear. That's the size. I guess the keys are just the next line on 31. Right, those are the keys. Those are the values. There's the tuple, the list of tuples that represents the keys and the values put together. I can find, in this case, because the values are numeric, I can find the minimum value, but what I really do is I call the values, which returns a list, and then I'm really finding the min on a list, right? So I'm always going to try to tell you the truth as much as I can. That's what's really happening here, but it will work, right? And so just calling sum on a dictionary doesn't always work, but what if you can get the values from the dictionary and then sum the values? Maybe that will work for you. So the total number of fruits, apples, bananas, and pears, total number of items, 15. That's correct. Find which one has the minimum value. We know, well, here we know it's 2. We don't know who it was. And then we can find the maximum, 8. But again, we still don't know who that is, right? That sort of thing. So there are some opportunities, we'll say, to improve how we work with dictionaries. So here we're going to convert a list to a dictionary. I have a list of tuples that I am going to turn into a dictionary. So I feed in square brackets lists, parentheses, tuples to the dictionary built-in function, and let's see what I get back. So what we want to look for is list2 dictionary appearing in the locals window, and then we'll go take a look. Right? So list2 dictionary begins with a brace, so we get a proper dictionary where the first part of the tuple is the key and the second part of the tuple is the value. Excellent. So everything's working so far. And we can go through the same thing of extracting the keys, right? There are the keys. We'll get a list back of all the keys. We can get a list back of all of the values, right? And for fun, what does it mean to pop something off a dictionary? So we have the watch in here to see how this changes. Now they say in the help it's random. Let's see if it's random, right? That sort of thing. So a popped off banana, maybe that was random. Maybe it pops it off the end. That sort of thing. We'd have to do some more testing to see if it's stable. But if the documentation says it's random, I'm going to assume, okay, it may have been random in the past, or it could be random in the future, and so I won't pretend to believe that there is a fixed order of how it does it. Just so you know, did the list get smaller? It was 3 before. It looks like it sure got shortened here. So, but let's find out what Python thinks. And yes, it did get shorter, and it popped off the last one. Now, whether it's going to do that consistently, always pop off from the end, we don't know, right? That would take more testing, and maybe even more talking to the people who maintain the Python language and where they're heading with this. But for now, this concludes this video.